In 2000, I was approached by CD Publications to contribute illustrations to this story collection edited by Richard Laymon called Bad News. I was one of 4 illustrators involved in, actually 5 if you include the cover artist, involved in this project. I wasn't given choice of which stories. I was assigned the stories, 6 stories, 6 full-page interior illustrations. This edition is one of 2 that I received. I also received a publisher's copy of the numbered edition. I believe they had an edition of 500. And that was in a slipcase that had a very striking reptilian, 3-dimensional type of skin cover to the slipcase. It actually looked like the hide of a dinosaur, maybe. Back then, I was in the habit of sending all of my very expensive, very rare lettered copies of books that I was involved in up to New York to my mom. She liked to line them up on the shelf behind her bed. So that reptilian skin version of this was one of them. And unfortunately, a year later, in 2001, my mom's house burned down. Everybody inside got out safely, but the house, the shelf behind her bed, and the books on that shelf were toast, literally. So that edition is gone. This has this velour top to it. There's no ribbon, but it's in so loosely that it's easy to pull out. The cover painting was by Vince Natal, or Natali, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. He did this. The binding, dark green faux leather, embossed gold, typography, thing on the back. A couple of things I saw that were a problem with this, which I'll share. On the copyright page, all of the writers were given copyright identification, as they should have. However, none of the illustrators got copyright credit on this page, which they should have. This is not uncommon for small press publishers to screw up like that, but we did, however, apparently after this was already at the printer and mistake could not be corrected, we were mentioned on the flyleaf of the dust jacket, plus a stunning cover by Vince Natali and story illustrations by Glenn Chadbourne, Earl Geyer, Keith Minion, and Gack. So we have that at least. The first thing that I saw when I opened the book was this painting, acrylic polymer, that I had done. I had sent this to CD Publications in the, I think, 1998 or 1999, just on spec as a possible idea for a cover to their magazine, Cemetery Dance magazine. I never heard back, so I just thought, well, they didn't like it, or, you know, it's in the queue. I had no idea. So it was kind of a surprise to open this up and see this here. This is called a frontispiece. I no longer have this painting. I really don't know what happened to it. I may not have gotten it back from the publisher. Again, very common with small press publishers. Back then, before digital files were common, before scanners were affordable, illustrators like myself would actually either get the work professionally photographed at great expense, try to photograph it themselves if they were okay at it. I wasn't. Or they would just send the original artwork, which is what I did, like here. Anyway, water under the bridge. This is the first signature sheet. Some names you might recognize: Richard Laymon, Jack Ketchum, Gary Brandner, Rick Hodela, Lucy Taylor, Simon Clark. I'm sure you'll recognize them all. Ida Van Belkom, Rain Graves, Bentley Little, and Ed Gorman on that page, plus me. On this one, Tom Piccirilli, Roman Rainieri, a friend of mine, Bill Pranzini, Edward Lee, John Peelin, Nancy Holder, Richard Chismer, got a story in here, and F. Paul Wilson. Now this says this deluxe signed edition is limited to 52 lettered copies, which means it went from A to Z and then AA to ZZ to get 52. I only have, again, four of the original drawings that I did for this. I got 4 back from the printer. Not all of them. 2 of them never made it. Just to give you an example, this is an illustration I did for the Jack Ketchum story. Yes, that is a condom. Let me show you the original drawing. This is the way, at that point, I used to send work to them with my return address information and what this illustration was illustrating. And on the back, they would put this information for the printer so that they would know where to put it. Did this one in November 18th, 1999. This is coquille board. This is pencil. And I would give them my suggestions about how I wanted it shot. Shoot as a halftone, 133 line screen. Very old school. This is pre-digital. Keep in mind, this is traditional photo offset or litho printing. And I also gave them a suggested reduction percentage of 86%, meaning it would be 14% smaller than this. That was that one. Next one was for a story by Ida Van Belkom. Had to do some research. I actually went. I was in New York City at some point here, and I just remember just taking a photograph of this subway car. No blood in it. For that illustration, I also have that one up here as one of the ones that was returned. There's Lamia. They did a good job in reproducing it. Whoever the printer was, they were definitely worthy. Next one I did, this one from Rain Graves. Her story was called Lila Came A-Walkin'. I remember reading Rain made a comment somewhere, and she was kind of, I don't know whether she really liked this or not. She said She was something like, I don't know whether that's something like, I don't know whether that's sausage or my character's intestines. It was definitely her character's intestines. This is probably the most disgusting one I did for this. Next one, Nancy Holder's story, which was called The Death Scene. I had taken anatomy classes. I had done a lot of life drawing, a lot of studio classes in life drawing, so I was familiar with being able to draw the human figure accurately. And this is another one that was returned. I like how they darkened it a little for me. You can see here that there's a little bit more texture in the, see that? A little bit more texture showing. And I dropped that out, which was good. I like that. This next one, a short story by Richard Chismar called The Interview. This was one that was not returned to me. Lost at the printer. And then this last one for F. Paul Wilson. I think this is the weakest one of the bunch. Accurate anyway. While I was in New York, I took a couple of photographs of some cabs at the time. 1999, and I used those photographs to draw those cabs on this city street. So that's bad news.